It's so interesting to me that during the winter season, when nature is asking us to slow down, conserve energy, and turn inward, our culture really ramps things up during this holiday season with parties and shopping and baking. And it can feel really overwhelming and sometimes like we don't have a choice in how busy we are. But we always have a choice. We always have a choice in what we say yes to. There are many reasons why we stay so busy. I think that one of them is our culture values busyness so much. Think about conversations that you have and you ask your friend that you haven't seen, "How you doing?" "Oh, busy, busy." That's kind of our usual answer, and that's seen as a good thing. That's seen as, "Oh, I'm successful if I'm busy." But I was really struck some years ago by this interview that I listened to on NPR from an American who had lived in France for a while. And she was saying that when you ask somebody how they are in France, they don't say busy because that's not a good thing. To say you're busy is to say that you don't have control over your life. And there's truth in that, right? That so busy feeling is usually very overwhelming and it does feel out of control. So, another reason that we stay busy is, of course, having trouble saying no. And this is harder for some people than others. I know it was a big one for me. Several years ago, I became chronically ill, and that was part of the reason why, was because I couldn't say no. And it really does a disservice to ourselves and to other people, of course, if we say yes to something that we don't really want to do and then end up doing it feeling resentful and overwhelmed and exhausted. And another reason that is somewhat related is that many of us place our value on what we do as opposed to who we are, our being. And again, in this situation where I was ill, I got to a point where I couldn't do all the things that I was doing before, the things that I felt gave me value in the workplace and in my family. And that was a big letting go and realization of it really isn't what I do, especially if in that extreme situation, what I'm doing is causing me to really not be emotionally, mentally, energetically there for my family. So this holiday season, I really encourage you, as activities are presented to you, to slow down internally, first of all, and really ask yourself and assess, how am I feeling energetically, emotionally, mentally, and physically? Is this something that I really want to say yes to? And if it is, then that's great. But if it isn't, really be honest with yourself. And if it is something you want to do, but you're feeling overwhelmed, look at your schedule. What do I have scheduled around this thing? Is there something I can move or drop altogether? And if it's something you don't really want to do, but you decide to do anyway, and there's many reasons why that might be, then just remember that it is a choice. You're choosing to do this thing instead of dealing with the consequences of not doing it. And for me, that really gives me an internal sense of freedom and feeling less like a victim, remembering that I'm choosing this and just really allowing yourself to be fully committed and present and relax into it. And then finally, I would really encourage you to make sure you're carving out time for yourself, whether that's just complete downtime. One of my favorite things to do is have unstructured blocks of time where I don't have anything planned I don't have anything scheduled. I just do what I feel like doing, whether that's laying on the couch and reading the whole time or going for a hike. I don't have an agenda, and that feels very relaxing and freeing to me. So whatever that is for you. And if you feel like, oh, there is no time for myself, I invite you to expand your perception of what might be possible. I know especially parents of young children can often feel that way, but there's almost always somebody that's willing to give you a break, whether it's a paid babysitter or a family member or friend or spouse. There's usually somebody that can allow you that time for yourself, which is just so vitally important. And I know we all know that, and we forget it in the busyness of life. So just slowing down. And if you are having trouble slowing down and saying no or becoming less busy and you want help with it, I really encourage you to contact me. There are things that can be imbalanced in your energy system that can contribute to those issues. Maybe something with one of the chakras, the third chakra having to do with self-worth and power, or the fifth chakra having to do with speaking your truth. There can be events from the past that are held in the field that can be affecting your beliefs and perceptions in the present. So thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a very peaceful and wonderful holiday season. My name is Christy Joy. I'm a Healing Touch certified practitioner and instructor with a practice in Fort Collins. And I invite you to comment, like my page if you haven't already, and I really love to hear in the comments about your experiences with the holiday season and busyness and what works for you and what doesn't. Thank you so much.